Good evening, everybody. Welcome back. Session number 5. I am your host, Erin Misiak. I hope you've all had a wonderful day. I see that we've got just a couple people that are currently joining as per normal, you guys. So we're just going to give everybody just a brief moment to get themselves situated. A couple quick reminders for you all in the meantime. You guys, please remember that all of your webinar recording, or all of your webinars, should I say, they are recorded. But remember, because there is such a vast group of us on here, they do take roughly 48 hours for them to buffer. So you guys, please check your email. If you do see your email there, wonderful. If not though, please make sure that you just send me over an email when we drop off our webinar here this evening so I can get that sent to you right away. You guys, it shows, I just got a message that I am muted. However, that's from James. You guys, it doesn't show that I'm muted. Does anybody else except for James? Can everybody hear me? I don't want to continue. You can. All right, thanks very much. But James, I apologize. That's something with your system there. You may want to log off and log back in just to see if that fixes that. That's about as great of tech advice as I can give you. All right, you guys. So, but again, you guys, all of these are recorded. So if you haven't received your recording, please just let me know when we drop off so I can send that to the administration department to get that sent to you right away. But the other thing is you guys, that webinar handouts, remember there's just one webinar handout that I provided. So if you attended right at the beginning, that's usually where I send them out for everybody there. But if you do not have those webinar handouts, same thing, when we drop off here tonight, just shoot me a direct email to erin.misiak@myclientdevelopment.com. Just within the subject heading, put webinar handouts, so I'll get that sent over to you tonight. All right, you guys, let's dive on in here. We've got a big class tonight covering due diligence. So I'm just going to situate myself over here and let's get this disclaimer out of the way. So financial advice and earning disclaimer, the following information is for educational purposes only. We will not be providing financial, legal, or professional advice. We will introduce you to strategies that we use but may not apply to your personal situation. Any examples depicting profits, earnings, or results should not be interpreted as typical for the average person. The average person doesn't invest in tax liens and deeds, so they may make little to no money doing this, and many even lose money. All students depicted have learned with one of our experts or in one of our advanced training sessions. Please remember all investing involves risks. Okay. All right, you guys, I want to basically open up here and sort of break down what it is that we're going to be covering. So tonight, as I mentioned, I hope you have your calculators ready and available, okay? And don't make fun, it's the same calculator I've had probably since I was 15 years old, but it gets the job done. But you guys, this spreadsheet that you can see, and I just want for you to take a look before we dive deeper. Parcel ID number, I've included the county. You're gonna notice that there's a couple of different options on here. The property type is vacant residential property, and also you can see your interest rate there is showing at 18%. And you guys, we're going back to Florida, as I mentioned, because these are county held liens, which means we're gonna go in, you can purchase them right away. And also they're going to be past the 2-year redemption period, as you can see based off the certificate years. Okay, but remember, you guys, not every property is going to have a street address or a physical address assigned to that property. It may just have the parcel ID number. So this parcel ID number, that is what we're going to look at it as. Basically, it's a social security number for that property. Okay, we're going to input that information. Remember, we'll go over to the tax collector web pages, your property appraiser web pages, title searches, everything based off of that parcel ID number there. Okay, but you guys, city, zip code, again, you can also see that I have certificate years. So I just kind of picked some, but you guys, what we're gonna go in and explore together and kind of fill in the blanks are your face values. Okay, and just to kind of quickly recap these, you guys, in case we forgot, the face value of a certificate is the initial value of the outstanding tax bill. Okay, so remember that number doesn't ever change. That will always remain the same, but the value of what it's worth today is the redemptive value. So that's what we will see on the property owner's tax bill. Okay, remember, the older the certificate is, you guys, typically it will be more expensive, and it's only because it sat there a longer period of time, accruing the interest and the fees. So a newer certificate will be lesser expensive because it really hasn't sat there all that long. Okay, but then we're going to locate the assessed value of the property. But you guys, that's where we're going to come back. We're going to look at the roll up. Okay, but that's where we are then going to calculate what this opening bid on the property would be if we're the one to foreclose on it and push it to the auction. Remember, we will be that opening bid. Okay, so you guys, we're going to calculate those numbers, including the administration fees plus the interest up to the auction date. On average, remember this whole process that we're going to explain here tonight, you should be expecting about 6 months from start to finish. Okay, and you guys, please remember that Florida is a hybrid state, which means your chances of acquiring properties when foreclosing on them is exceptionally slim. Okay, because first off, remember when you foreclose, the property owner on average has 90 days to pay you up. If they do so, you're going to get back everything that you put into it, plus the fee that we'll discuss, plus the interest up to the date. But if they don't pay off, remember that is where you'll be hearing directly from the county, because you are the primary lien holder at that point. They will inform you of what day the property is scheduled to go to what's called a tax deed auction. Okay, so you guys, if that's the case, you're putting that date in on your calendar because that will be the date of the outcome of the investment. But remember, if the property goes to auction, that is where your second administration fee will come into play, and that is your auction filing fee. Okay, so on average, just to remind you guys, $200 to $800 per fee. Okay, on average, they're $300 to $400 each. So if we don't know the fees, then we're just going to add on the high side to make sure that it will come in lower than that. Okay, so you guys, off we go here. We're going to dive in and get started, but I just wanted to mention this of what I'm going to cover with you guys tonight. I don't come in here and do each of these steps every time I'm purchasing a lien. Okay, we're going to come in here and show you all of this information because it is very important, okay, to understand how all of this operates. But you guys, if I'm going to be coming in here and researching a lien, I'm going to look at the full in roll-up amount because that's what I'd be into the investment for, plus the fees. I'm going to add that on top. So I know basically that that would be right around the dollar amount of if, on the slimmest chance, I do end up acquiring the deed to the property, if nobody outbids it, that's where I'm going to make sure that the market value well exceeds whatever the opening bid may be. Okay, just to protect myself that if I do end up acquiring it, say for $2,000, I know I can turn around and sell it for $4,000 or $6,000 or $8,000, whatever that number is. All right, James, I'm glad you got your volume working. All right, so you guys, let's dive on in here. The very first thing, and you're going to notice down at the bottom of this spreadsheet, you guys, I input the netteronline.com. Okay, so within your webinar handouts, I did give you guys a blank template of the same spreadsheet. So please, you guys, start to go in, utilize it, fill in all the same information of what we're looking at tonight. Okay, so you guys, I'm going to start here by just copying this parcel ID number. Okay, and remember, some counties are going to refer to it as an account number. Some counties would refer to it as a RE number for real estate number or a strap number, for instance. Okay, but it's all the same. So you guys, the very first stop we're going to come into tonight is this Netter Online. Okay, you're going to notice I already have it up on my computer here, ready to go. Okay, and this is one of those things, you guys, store it on your computer moving forward because you will be coming in here every single time you're doing your research on any type of tax lien. Okay, so you guys, when we come into this Netter Online, we're going to click on Public Records Online at the top, and that brings us to this page here. Okay, sorry, I've been out of this for just a moment, so let me click on that again. Okay, so you guys, main page, click on Public Records Online. This will bring you to your map. So you guys, when you scroll down here, we're basically going to get ourselves situated or set up. Okay, you can either click on the map for Florida, or you're going to see it's listed down below, so whichever. Okay, they duplicate it again. We can click on this view more to open up and expand all of the counties in Florida, but I just want to show you, for whatever reason, I get more acquainted to this particular tab here. Okay, so you guys, that first property we're looking at is in Volusia County. So I'm just going to scroll this down here and set this up for Volusia County. Okay, so there's the county right here. Okay, so you guys, with that said, we are going to go in, we're going to take a look at a 2018 certificate. Okay, so when we have the county set up through our Netter Online, this, you guys, you're going to see county to county. You don't have to go back to the beginning. You can just come back and switch your county right here. But this underneath is where you're going to see, not always is in the same order, but you guys, the Volusia Clerk of Circuit Court. Okay, this is your county clerk recorder. Volusia County, they're just a little fancier with how they label it, but this is where we will come to run the title search for the property owner to see if there's any government or federal liens. Okay, if we want to go into the property appraiser, this is where we would go here. But as a tax lien investor, you guys, it simply makes sense for us to start in the tax collector. Okay, so we're going to click on this go to data online. And then when we do, you're going to notice that this is how every county is going to look just a little bit different. But you guys, obviously, we're searching for anything that says property tax. Okay, when you pull this up, this is where we're going to paste the parcel ID number right here. Okay, and you guys, if it drops down, click on it or just click on enter, return on your computer, and then you wait. Florida is very suspenseful. Excuse me. So you guys, as this is pulling up, remember why we are coming here first and foremost. This is the property owner's tax bill. Okay, so you guys, you can see that, I think that's Lien, Dorival is the name. Okay, but you guys, underneath here, you now see that the parcel ID number, parcel ID number is referred to as an account number. Okay, but you guys, take a look underneath here. Okay, this is more common than not of what you're going to be expecting to see in the state of Florida today. Okay, there's exactly 7 years worth of taxes that are outstanding for the property owner. Okay, I warned you of it. This is not going to be a coincidence. This is going to be more common than not that when you pull up a property owner's tax bill, all 7 of them may be sitting here. Okay, but you guys, this 2022 annual bill, that would be the 23 certificate. Okay, that would be the 2022, the 2021, etc. So the oldest liens that we should see, or tax bills that we should see period today, would be a 2016 annual bill. That would be a 2017 certificate. Okay, so you guys, when you're looking at a tax bill, like I said, this should be the absolute oldest. Okay, now I wanted to have found a property that had a little bit more of a warning sign for you guys, because as I mentioned, I like to kind of give you that visual of something to stay clear of, but I wasn't able to get the job done today. Okay, so you guys, I just want to kind of explain it, however, because it's pretty easy to identify. If you were to ever come into the state of Florida and say, for instance, that the county was trying to collect the taxes past this 7-year statute of limitations, okay, so say for instance you saw the 15 annual bill, the 14, the 13, or anything past the 16 today, that would be a major red flag. Okay, in fact, that would be your indicator of bankruptcy. Okay, so I just want to kind of explain you guys how that would operate, because you want to avoid any type of property that is currently in bankruptcy. Okay, bankruptcies are not cookie cutter. It could be potentially a 3-year bankruptcy, maybe it's a 5-year bankruptcy, but you guys, bankruptcy, if you purchase a lien, your money is tied up until the bankruptcy is lifted. Okay, but the bigger slap to the face is the investor, is bankruptcy freezes all interest in the meantime. Okay, so again, do not get yourself into a bankruptcy lien. And of course, you would see that when you run a title search, of course. Okay, but a really great way to identify it right out of the gate, you guys, is if the county is trying to collect anything lower than that. Okay, now you guys, if the bankruptcy has been lifted, because people can't foreclose while there is a bankruptcy in place, but if the bankruptcy has been lifted, they are able to foreclose, but they're not going to drop off at that 7-year mark. So whatever that balance is due, let's say that there's another 7 years tacked onto that, that would be something you would be expected to pay off. If the bankruptcy is lifted, you'd still have to pay out the full balance. They will not drop off at that 7-year mark, at the statute of limitations as per normal. Okay, so again, please just keep your eye out for that, you guys. One thing you're going to notice here is our roll-up amount right here. Okay, so you guys, we're going to go back and kind of fill in the blanks as we go through this. Okay, but I'm just going to jot this down, $563.80. That is our roll-up. Okay, so remember, if we were to force the foreclosure on this property right away, we would have to pay out this full total amount plus the 2 administration fees. Okay, and you guys, as I mentioned, county to county, you're going to get yourself acquainted with this, but the tax deed application filing fee in Volusia County is $425 even. Okay, if the property owner doesn't pay off and it goes to the auction, they're going to charge $287 for an auction filing fee. So you guys, that's $712 additional of administration fees. Okay, so if you don't know the exact dollar amount, again, just do them on the high side. Say 400 and 400 for an $800 total fee on top of it. Very few of them are going to be up over that. Okay, so you guys, with that said, that's kind of the number what we're looking at, right? So $563.80 plus $712 worth of fees. If we were to foreclose on this property, we're looking at roughly $1,275.80. Okay, so with that said, you guys, the other thing I want for you to be noticing per tax bill is you're going to notice that your oldest tax bill is the most expensive. Okay, and then for the most part, give or take, you guys, for the most part, it gets lesser expensive each and every year. And your most current year is the least expensive. And it's only, again, because it hasn't sat there as long accruing the interest. Okay, but you guys, this number that we see right here, let's go back to our spreadsheet. Okay, we're going to evaluate a 2018 certificate. We've already got that roll-up amount, so let's just put that in here, $563.80. Okay, so we're going to go back and take a look at this 2018 certificate. Okay, so again, 2018 certificate would be this 2017 annual bill. Okay, so you guys, this is the redemptive value of what this lien is worth today. Okay, so we'll go back and put that in as well, $85.55. Okay, but if we want to know the face value of the certificate when it was first issued, all we have to do is click on the annual bill itself. Okay, when you come in here, this is where you're going to be able to see what the lien was first issued, the date it was issued. So there's your face amount right there. Okay, so when this lien was issued, it was $40.46. But again, it's been accruing an 18% annual interest since then. So hence why today the value of it is $85.55. Okay, so again, you guys, you can come in here and take a look your face values. You don't have to do that each and every time. I just wanted to show you where that's at. Okay, but the other thing, account history. So you guys, this underneath, this is going to help quite a bit as well. You're going to notice, okay, and I just want to show you your 2022 annual bill was not paid, so the county issued the certificate on it as of June 1st. Okay, so all of these that you see right here are due, right? So there's our 2016 annual bill, the 2017 certificate. But take a look, 2016 certificate that expired. Okay, there was nothing paid, there's nothing due because it dropped off by that 7-year statute of limitations. So as of right now, the property owner has got off with not having to pay at least 1 year worth of taxes. That is dropped by the statute of limitations. Okay, but you guys, before that, okay, you're going to notice that their annual bill basically was paid. You can see that there's receipts. Then you can see that there was some certificates that were issued, but they came in and they paid them off all on the same day. So these ones here were redeemed. Okay, so it already kind of identifies that the property owner may just be playing a gamble here, that they're not going to pay any property taxes until somebody forces them to do so, meaning us, who comes in and forces the foreclosure, for instance. Okay, but you guys, you can see all of these back in the past, they just paid it and there was their receipts. Okay, so they didn't even get certificates issued because they were just paying their taxes on time. Okay, so kind of neat to come in and see the account history, but again, this is what we're looking for when we get here. Okay, so you guys, let's go back to our spreadsheet. We're going to fill in what we have. That face value is $40.46. Okay, redemptive value, $85.55. Okay, so you guys, we now have a couple of these boxes. We're going to take a look at the assessed value, and then we'll come back to the opening bid. Okay, so you guys, one of the bigger reasons why I mentioned to you to come into a property owner's tax bill first is majority of the counties will have this property appraiser link right here, which is going to take us directly to the same property. Okay, if the county doesn't have that, go back to your Netter online, and now we'll take the parcel ID number and go here. Okay, so you guys, there's a bunch of different ways to get you there as well. There's not a right way or a wrong way. It's more so what you're getting yourself familiarized with. Okay, so you guys, we're going to click on the property appraiser. When we do, you're going to notice that we again have our parcel ID number here. Okay, you can see that there is the physical address. We don't have a physical property address right here, but you guys, we do have our property owner's information. Okay, and then underneath, you guys, we see that the property use, it shows and is identified as vacant residential property. Okay, here is the short description of this property also. So you guys remember, you're always coming back and taking a look at this, but you kind of want to try to remember a little chunk of it. Like what stands out to me is this Cape Atlantic, lot 55. Okay, so again, just something, we'll keep this open, we'll come back to it, but Cape Atlantic, lot 55. Okay, so that is the short description here of the property here, you guys. So remember, when we run the title search, if there is a government lien or a federal lien, but it is not the same description of this property, it does not impact us as the investor. Okay, the lien has to be, or the lien or the judgment has to be following the same description of the property that we're evaluating. Okay, so you guys, with that said, when you come in here, okay, you're going to notice underneath here, we can see that this is going to be your actual assessed values, and it'll show underneath here. There it is right there. Okay, so you guys, you can also base that off of the land value here in this county of 950. So just to be made aware, but it has increased from last year of 742. Okay, so let's put our assessed value of $950 also. It's not a whopping property. Okay, but you guys, when you come in here, one of the bigger things to make life a little bit easier on yourself, open up your sales tab. Okay, because when you do, this is where you're going to be able to see your last sales, obviously. Okay, but with that, what you are looking for here, you guys, is remember when we are running these title searches, we have to go back 20 years, which would be back to 2003, or back to the last warranty deed, whichever came first. Okay, so this warranty deed is obviously in 2006, but you guys, you can see over on the right-hand side, it sold for $9,000 way back then. Okay, but again, that tells us that the only person that we have to run the title search on is this person's name. Okay, so if you can locate something such as this, that's going to make life a whole lot easier for you guys, because say for instance, it showed, like you see right here, quitclaim deed. Okay, if that was the last transaction, and let's say the warranty deed was way down here, you would have to go through this property owner's name and the previous property owner's name all the way back to 20 years or back to the last warranty deed, whichever came first. Okay, so you guys, title searches, they're not fun. I don't try to sugarcoat them. Okay, they're a pain in the rear, but they're super important for what we're doing here. So if you can make life a little easier on yourself, that's a smart play. Okay, so again, you guys, if you're going to see that you want to go back 20 years, so if you see that it's been quitclaimed and quitclaimed and quitclaimed again, I would probably be moving on to the next property, because you will have to do all of the title searches on each and every one of those property owners' names to see if there was any government or federal liens attached. Okay, so you guys, with that said, this is where, when we've seen our sales, okay, you're going to notice when you come into a county, every county property appraiser will have a mapping system within it. Okay, so you guys, when I pull up this mapping system, over on my right-hand side here, I like to bring everything visual to life. So you're going to notice if you ever have 4 squares within a circle, that's your base map gallery, and within it, you can switch it and transition it to imagery. Okay, there's the property that we're looking at, this blue identified parcel. Okay, so you guys are probably thinking not super wooing right out of the gate. Okay, but you guys down here, and let's just even zoom out just a smidge. Where are we at in the big picture? Okay, there's the property, you guys. You can see that there is some development around here, obviously not a ton. Okay, but I want to show you and basically inform you, again, your chances of acquiring these properties will be very, very slim as long as there's no government and federal liens. Okay, but you guys, when you do come in here, there is something that I want for you to be concerned of, and that is going to be your flooding. Okay, or your flood zone, should I say. So you're also going to have a layers list within here. If I just click on my flood risk zones, I am going to have to scroll in just a little bit. Okay, so you guys, when I click on this, I'm just going to give it a pause and let it do its thing. Okay, maybe I zoomed out a little far, just give it a second. Okay, but what I'm looking for here, and you guys are going to notice that it's got a color coding over here. Okay, this orangish color, okay, that is your, any color or no color is your best color. Okay, so you see how there was just a little smidge of purple that kind of showed up on this property. You guys, purple is your second best. Now, I typically would say, you don't want to foreclose on properties in these purple areas because you're probably going to end up acquiring them. But through my nerdiness and all these auction results, you're going to notice that majority of these properties in this area are all in the purple spot. In fact, you see how these people right here have built all in this purple. Okay, this over here is not. So again, you guys, if I see that all of the results in this area are the same and I'm going to get redeemed and not going to acquire the property, then this also is not going to bother me to go in this same area. Okay, but you guys, you can see right here, it covers a portion of this property, but it also isn't on all of it. So that kind of makes it kind of better as well. Okay, but with that, this, you guys, once we have seen all of this, this is now where we will run the title search. Okay, so I'm going to grab her name. Now you can take it off, I assume it's a her, but you can take that off of the property appraiser or you can take it off of here, either or. Okay, but you guys, now we're going to go back to our Netter Online. We've seen the property appraiser, we've seen the tax collector, as I mentioned, the clerk recorder or the circuit court. This is where we're going to come to run the title search. Okay, so you guys, when you click on this, we just have to accept to come on in, but these are all cosmetically going to look just a little bit different. Okay, but this in the top corner here is where we would paste the name, and you guys always make sure it's snuggled up right up to the corner there. Okay, and if it drops down, click on that. That's always a great sign. So let's hit submit. Okay, so you guys, this is the only property owner on that property. Okay, if there was several names, we would have to research them all, but this right here is the cleanest title search that you're going to run across. Okay, so take a look. We've got her name, but when we come here, why I say this is one of the cleanest title searches that you're going to see, you guys, if Lien had a bunch of government or federal liens attached to her, this is where they would all show. Okay, and in fact, see this type column right here? When you hover over this, this is just the deed transfer from when we saw the transfer of ownership back in 2006. Okay, you guys take a look. It's the same description of the property. Granted, it's narrowed down, but that's your Cape Atlantic, lot 55. Okay, so if I wanted to click on this right here, this image, this is going to be the warranty deed of what we saw on the sales transaction. Okay, there's her name, there's your warranty deed, etc. Okay, so you guys, when I'm coming here, please understand that I don't need to click on this because that is just the deed transfer. Okay, what impacts you is if you were to look at this and say that there was a whole bunch of documents that were sitting here, the stuff that's going to impact you is anything that's going to say lien or judgment or notice of commencement. Okay, those would be the three things that we need to pull up. Okay, but there is one other thing to avoid, and if you were to see that that says probate, okay, avoid the property altogether. Move on to the next, because probate basically tells you that it's tied up in legal probate. So if we were to go to click on this, you guys, it's going to say image not viewable via web. That's because it's revoking all the information. You basically would have to hire an attorney to reach out to the probate attorney to get the information needed. Okay, so again, if you're looking in this column and you see lien, judgment, or notice of commencement, that's the stuff, you guys, that we would have to click on and read. If it is issued to the same description of the property that we're planning on foreclosing on, that would be a major issue. Okay, that's what's going to prevent somebody from wanting to bid on that property if there's any government or federal liens. Okay, so you guys, if you were to pull this up, and the reality of it is let's say that this person has 900 documents to rifle through, time is money. Okay, so do you want to go through each and every one of those documents? Now, the other thing that you can do, and it's not a great example here, you guys, if you were to click on your date, okay, that will put your date most current to oldest, or if you click on it again, oldest to most current. So remember, if whatever documents are there are past 2003, government and federal liens drop off at a 20-year statute of limitations, so they wouldn't impact us whatsoever regardless. Okay, so again, they just have to be matching the same description for it to impact us whatsoever as the investor. Okay, but you guys, this right here, okay, we're going to go back now, and I want to tally up what this opening bid on this property would be. Okay, so you guys do me a favor. We're going to grab our calculators and we're going to start to plug in these numbers. Okay, so follow along. Our all-in roll-up amount, we're going to type in $563.80. Okay, remember you guys, we're going to add $712 worth of administration fees that I mentioned. So that would mean that our all-in amount is $1,275.80. Okay, but you guys remember when we force the foreclosure, that is when it's going to compound the interest the one time. And now the interest is accruing on your all-in amount. Okay, so 18% annual interest, that's calculated at 1.5% per month. Okay, so you guys on your calculator right now, you should have $1,275.80. We're going to times that by 0.015. Okay, so remember in grade school, we're going to move the decimal over 2 places. So that should give you $19 and we'll round it up, 14 cents. Okay, but you guys, that would be the monthly interest if we foreclose, $19.14. Okay, so remember this process is going to take an average of 6 months. So I'm going to type in $19.14. I'm going to times that by 6. That would be a grand total of $114.84 worth of interest that it has accrued by the time the auction. Okay, so you guys, your all-in roll-up amount plus those fees plus the $114.84, that is what we're going to add together because that will be the opening bid. Okay, so again, $1,275.80, that was the roll-up in the fees. We're going to add the $114.84 worth of interest. The opening bid here on this property, you guys, should be right around $1,390.64. Okay, so you guys, please type in if nobody understood that or if you got lost, because I want to make sure to repeat that again if so. Okay, and just to make sure. So you guys, all in roll-up amount, recall that's the tax balance. Okay, plus we added the administration fees of $712. That brought this total to $1,275.80. Okay, so once we had that all in amount, we times that by 0.015, and that gave us $19.14. Okay, that would be the monthly interest, but remember this process on average will take 6 months. So we're going to times that monthly interest by 6 and add it all together on top of the roll-up in the fees. Okay, so remember this number here would be the opening bid at the auction. So you guys, now how we have to look at that property we just evaluated is if on the slimmest chance we do end up acquiring this deed to this property, would we be upset for $1,390? Are these properties selling today? What are they selling for? Okay, so you guys, that is where you can obviously go into your Marketplace Pro and utilize that. Okay, but I'm going to show you here just sort of a quick little, we're going to go into the Marketplace tomorrow. So I just want to kind of show you this now. Is for instance, okay, so you guys, I just want to show you when we come into our Marketplace, okay, you can put the parcel ID number right there and that will pull up all of the information on that particular property. Okay, so you guys, when you pull this up, you're going to notice here, there's only one tax lien that still shows available. Okay, but you guys, when I click on the property, and of course, this is what we're going to cover tomorrow, and I'm really going to woo you. I get very excited about this. Okay, but you guys, what we're coming into the tax collector and the property appraisers, these are your direct links. Okay, so you'll only be going over to Netter to run your title searches. So I'm kind of showing you guys the old school way of how we go about this before there was ever this big fancy Marketplace Pro. Okay, but you guys, when you're in here, I just want to show you that this again, you'll be able to see the map of where the property is at. Okay, but the bigger thing is there's a comparables tab. Okay, now you guys, I just leave the comparables tab as is because 3,000 feet is half a mile. So I'm just going to click on update. Okay, we see that this assessed value shows at 742, but remember we saw on the property appraiser, it's now up to 950. So you guys, this pulled up only 6 comparables in this area. Okay, but you can see here, assessed value of 1,484, which isn't much larger than ours. It's sold in 2021 for $30,000. Okay, who would be upset about acquiring that property now? Okay, so with that, you guys, some of these are going to include your residential properties on top of it as well. Okay, so you can see it's got right around the same assessed value on that property, but the only thing about these comparables, and they are working on this, you're going to notice that it doesn't show in any date of sales date. So you guys just make sure that you're checking for your most current. Okay, but what I can tell you guys is just even based off of this, okay, if we're not even going to approach the 30,000, that may be on the high side. If I want to be just conservative about this, you guys, I would look at my lower assessed value and it sold for 6,000 back in 2021. Okay, I'm just trying to get, like I said, a gauge of what these properties have sold for. So you guys, if I come in, and you could go into Zillow and evaluate that further, but I just wanted to show you that this is a great way of seeing this. Now you guys, even if we wanted to do it on the low side, okay, let's go back here because let's take a look. Let's say that the market value is 4,000. Okay, we're going to split it in between, but let's remember this property sold for, wasn't it $6,000 back when it was, where are we here? I have to click on this one more time. Okay, so you guys, let's just take a look. When this sold back in 2006, it sold for 9,000. Okay, so with that said, let's just even go in here and say that our market value on this property that we determine is 4,000. Okay, so you guys, right here, you're also going to notice I have an opening bid divided by market value. Okay, so you guys, if I wanted to we're going to tally up these numbers here. So the opening bid divided by market value. So 1390.64 divided by 4,000, that equals 35%. I'm just going to round it up. Okay, what does that mean, right? Okay, so you guys, this percentage, that's your opening bid divided by your market value. Okay, so ideally what you want this ratio to show at is anything that is 60%, so 60 or lower. Okay, 60% or lower means that you are in your safe zone with the investment because it means that your chances of acquiring that property and foreclosing on it is slim to none. Okay, because if it's sitting at 60% or lower, something as low as this, okay, the lower the number shows you guys, the lower chance you have of being awarded the property. Because based off of this, if we acquired this property for this dollar amount and we just sold it for this smaller amount, okay, and we're being very conservative, that would mean that we're going to make a 65% profit. Okay, so you guys, if other people see this, that's what I'm mentioning, they are all going to get outbid at the auction as long as there's no government or federal liens or something that's really weird about that specific property. Okay, and you guys bear with me because tomorrow I'm going to show you all of those auction results in this little 32759 zip code. Okay, in fact, let's just go and do it right now. Okay, because you're probably wondering, well, why am I showing you a property such as this? Okay, because you guys, if I just go into my tax deeds, okay, let's just put in 32759. Okay, what happens to investors just like ourselves when we buy these tax liens and we force the foreclosures? I'm going to switch this over because I just want to see what happened to vacant properties out here. Okay, so you guys, when I just put in this bit of information alone, I'm going to transition that to satellite. Okay, the property we're evaluating is somewhere right in here. Okay, but what I'm looking for, and these are your older auction dates, say I want to flip this over to my most current auction dates. Okay, I'm just going to switch this over to the tail end. But you guys, this is where, oh, too far. I got to go back just a little bit because that's the upcoming auction here. Okay, so anything that says auction over, that's what I'm looking for. Okay, because you guys, when I click on this, okay, here is the zip code that we're in. Here is us, the opening bid. Now our opening bid we just calculated, what was it? Okay, 1390. Okay, but take a look, you guys. That is the opening bid on this property. Here is the assessed value of the property, and here is what was awarded for. It's a 2.5 acre property, but you guys, here's the map. Okay, there is where this property is at, right beside Bloomingdale's. Okay, so you guys, this is just one result, and I want to show you this because that's just one property in this zip code. Here's another. Okay, here is the opening bid amount. Here is the assessed value. This is what somebody outbid this property to at the auction for $9,700. Okay, again, here's where this property is at. Okay, so there is something that is happening here that we may not necessarily understand, but any of these that show auction over, okay, same rule applies. Okay, so you guys, I'm showing you this right now. I'd typically show you that tomorrow, but I can feel without you guys saying anything of why would you take us in and show us a property such as this? I don't want to acquire this property in the middle of nowhere. Well, every single one of these that we have clicked on thus far, not one single person was awarded one of these properties. You guys, if we were to see that this opening bid matches down to the penny of what the winning bid is, that would tell us that whoever foreclosed on the property was awarded it for the same opening bid amount. Okay, and you guys, again, I don't want you to go through one or two or three of these auction results. I want you to go through a whole bunch of them so you can see that even these properties that may be the most undesirable, they are still going to get auctioned off. Okay, now to go in, when I said I'm super nerdy, I just want to show you here, this is where these auction results, I'll go into the map, you guys, and see, okay, these properties that have all been auctioned off, okay, are they in that purple zone that I had mentioned? Not all of them are, but a good chunk of them are. Okay, so let's just see. That's even worse. It has the yellow on it. It still got auctioned off. Okay, so again, I hope this is kind of showing you and proving a point here, you guys, that these properties, anything that shows auction over, we are going to be able to see. So it is a major rarity that you will ever acquire these properties as long as there's no government or federal liens. Okay, you guys, in fact, it's so rare that when you do see an opening bid is matching the winning bid, of course, I get nerdy and dive in to find out why. That's why there's normally a government or a federal lien, so nobody outbid it at the auction. Okay, so I do hope that that really helps, but back to where we're going, on to the next one. Okay, so you guys, I just want to give you another example here. Okay, Putnam County. Now, before I ever even go in and approach a new property, I'm going to come up here and remove all my stuff before I get completely lost and confused. Okay, so you guys, Putnam County, we're going to go to our Netter Online. We're going to switch Volusia. We're going to go up to Putnam. Okay, so we're all set there. Okay, back to the drawing board. I'm going to copy this parcel ID number and we are going to put it, pardon me, we're going to go into our tax collector here. So Putnam County Tax Collector. Okay, and you guys, again, once you get here, every county cosmetically just a little bit different. Okay, but this is your property tax tab. So we're going to click right here and we're going to agree to use their software. And you guys, right here is the account number, and that is where we're going to paste that parcel ID number. Okay, so we'll click on search, and when we do, so cosmetically, this looks very different, and Putnam County makes this work a little harder because they don't tally up the full roll up for us. Okay, but you guys, again, same thing, not a coincidence that there is exactly to the 2016 tax year, that would be the oldest 2017 certificate available today. Okay, but you guys, this right here, okay, I want for you to see now these red ones, it's just that the county sent mail and it was returned. So maybe they're just gone or maybe they're passed away. It's really kind of hard to say. Okay, but you guys, what you're gonna notice, here's your due amounts. Okay, so again, your calculators, you would bring those out and tally up this number because that would be your all-in roll-up amount. Okay, but I also want for you to notice this STL that you see right here, sorry, right there, okay, that is your statute of limitations. No amount is due and no amount was paid. That one dropped off and expired at the 7-year mark. Okay, so you guys, with that said, this is now, you can see basically any payments that have been made in the past, and you can also see your previous property owners and where that ownership changed. Okay, so it looks to me like as soon as the property ownership changed, Jandy here hasn't been paying the property taxes. Again, maybe they're just aware of why should I until somebody forces me to do so. Okay, they've already got off with not having to pay this 1 year. Okay, now you guys, a little secret here in this county, and be cautious, but you can click on all of these that are due and then pay taxes. Do not pay these taxes. Do not ever, 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 ever pay any taxes in a property owner's tax bill. Okay, if you're gonna do that, let me know. I'll provide you my parcel ID number. Okay, but you guys, if you ever come into a tax bill and you pay anything within a tax collector, all you're doing is paying the property owner's taxes. Okay, so remember, you have to purchase through Lien Hub or through realauction.com, whichever software the county uses. Okay, this is just for us to come and get all the information. So you can see there is our all-in roll-up amount on this property. Okay, so 1370.18. Okay, but again, please, you guys don't ever pay anything through a property owner's tax bill, because if you do, now you have to reach out to them and say, hey, Jandy, I meant to foreclose on your property, my bad, can I get my money back? I don't think Jandy's gonna talk to you, I'm just saying. Okay, so you guys, that is our all-in roll-up amount here on this property. Okay, so moving along. And you guys, I'm going to pull this up in Marketplace because Putnam County is very difficult when it comes to inputting the parcel ID number. They're gonna separate it like different range and sections. I'll show you what I mean by that in just a moment. So I'm just gonna pull this up in here really quickly and we will continue to evaluate from here. Okay, so you guys, same thing. You see I pulled up the property. It's all the same property because there's different years of certificates available. Okay, so it doesn't matter which one you click on, it's all going to be the same. Okay, so you guys, down here, we were just in the tax collector. Okay, but I'm gonna click here for us to go over to the property assessor. Okay, so you guys, when I click on here, this is where we're gonna accept to go into their software. But when I meant about it's really difficult to input this parcel ID number, as you see how it's all divided, section, township, range, subdivision. Okay, so hence why it was a little difficult, but same rules apply, you guys. Let's take a look at this property appraiser. Okay, here is our property owner's name. You guys, this county calls the physical address a 911 address. Okay, again, not every county will have that. And the mailing address, don't be confused, that is the property owner's address, not the actual property address. Okay, so you guys, again, we see that the assessed value of this property, we see it's a vacant property. We can open up our values tabs. We can also open up our sales tabs. Okay, so here's our assessed value of the property. Okay, so that's our roll up. Assessed value, $5,550. Okay, same rules, you guys. Click on your sales. Okay, now this property here. Okay, I brought this one up for a reason because you guys, this would be something that I would not entertain right out of the gate. Okay, because you kind of see all of what's happening here. Okay, but then as I started to evaluate it a little further, This was a contract for a deed, okay, so it's not a warranty deed, but that's in 2014. So that's this person, okay, but you guys, I would also have to go back to the last quitclaim because it would have to go back to 2003, and they of course owned it since 2001. So we would have to go and not only do the title search on this property owner, but the previous property owner. Okay, and they've made it a little easier in Putnam County on the tax bill because, let me just go back to where I was here. Here's today's property owner. Okay, but again, you guys, that's where that transfer of ownership had taken place. So we will be able to go back and take a look at the previous property owner as well. Okay, so title searches here, you guys, like I said, it is going to be a little bit more convoluted when you pull up any type of sales transaction. Because if this last, again, if the warranty deed was not back in 1994, but maybe it was 2014, we would only have to look back as far as the last warranty deed. Okay, but you guys, let's go in and fill in what we do have here. So we're going to come back and take a look at the tax bill for the 2021. Okay, the roll-up amount that we found there was $1,370. Oops, and 18 cents, pardon me. Okay, you guys, let's go back. The assessed value was $5,550. Okay, and then let's go and take a look at the 2021 back at that tax bill. Okay, so you guys, 2020 would be the annual bill. Okay, so this is the 2021 certificate. The value of this redemptive value, should I say, of what this is worth today is $173.09. Okay, but you guys, if we want to see what the face amount of this is, I'm just going to remove those. Okay, but you guys, if we wanted to see what the face amount of that certificate is, we could click on the, I think it's the print bill here. Yep. Okay, so you guys, with that same information, just cosmetically it looks different, but you're going to notice right here in a very small little printing, that is the face amount right there. Okay, so when this certificate was issued, it was $117.49. Okay, so you guys, let's go back. We're going to input this. Face value, $117.49. Redemptive value that we saw it's worth today is $173.09. Okay, so you guys, same thing. Grab your calculators for me. Okay, so you guys, once you have your calculator out there, so this particular county, Putnam, they charge a $300 even TDA filing fee. And you guys, they're also going to charge a $300 auction filing fee for $600 worth of fees total. Okay, so you guys, I want for you guys to try to tally up what that opening bid is. Again, $600 worth of administration fees for this property. Okay, so excuse me, whoever gets it, I'd like for you to type that number into your chat box. So I want to see who gets it first and also who is on the right path. Okay, so go ahead and try to figure it out there, you guys. And I'm going to type it in here on my side to calculate it also. I think that's you, Jonathan, I believe, that just typed that in if you're still MCD user. But spot on, spot on. MCD user, you got the cyber cookies tonight. Enjoy them, fat-free, delicious. Eat as many as you want. Great job, great job. Okay, and you guys, I'm just gonna wait to see who else is coming through there to make sure that we are all on the same page. Okay, so as you're typing this in, if anybody is lost, let's go in and take a look. Okay, so you guys, it's the all-in roll-up amount plus $600 worth of fees in this county. So that would bring your total to $1,970.18. Okay, once we have that total amount with the fees, we're going to times that by 0.015, and that is your 1.5% per month. So that should have brought your interest to $29.55 per month. Okay, so you guys, on average, remember it's going to take 6 months, so it's going to sit there for 6 months accruing that interest. So $177.30 worth of interest in the 6 months will be added on top of the $1970.18. So your grand total opening amount, you guys, should be $2,147.48. Okay, so you guys, again, you can go in and tally up the interest of what you're going to be expected to be paid out, right? Because that's ultimately the opening bid amount. But if you want to kind of do a quicker calculation for yourself to get you invested, what is the roll-up amount? What is the fees? Okay, because that's going to give you a very good idea of what you're going to be into this property for if on the slim chance you were to acquire it. Okay, but you guys, the same rule would apply. Okay, you're going to go in, you're going to have to run your title searches. So you can take it off the tax collector bill, you can take it off the property appraiser. Okay, but you guys, let's just go, before we do that, let's go back to where we were here, because again, every county that you're going to be in will have this little GIS mapping tab. Okay, so you guys, that will show you your exact property lines of the property. Same thing, a little base map gallery down here. I transition it to my most current year, and then you can delete that. Okay, but you guys, your flood zone. Okay, so you have a layers list down here. Wetlands, very bottom. Okay, so every county, it's going to be just a little bit different. So sometimes if there's different like municipalities or things like that, it could be labeled on. So just make sure to remove it. But you're going to notice, you guys, if there's any type of wetlands of concern, that's your color, and that's what would pop up on the property itself. Okay, so you guys, with that, this is now, lastly, you would want to come in and do that title search. Okay, so we're already in Putnam County under the tax collector. This is where we'd come to the recorder. Okay, and you guys, I just want to show you here that every county cosmetically a little different, but you're going to notice that this one we have to agree to the terms to use their software for the title search. And then you're going to come in and click on official records. Okay, they give you 2 options, but you guys, this one right here in this county is the one that you need. Okay, and then this right here is where you're going to paste the property owner's name. Okay, always, you guys, last name first and then the first name. Okay, but you can see here, Jandy, when we pull up this name, okay, this is now where everything is completely opposite, because you can see document type, here's the deed. Okay, but you guys, again, is it the same property description? So if we go back to our Putnam County here, where am I? Oh, there we go, last one, lucky. Okay, so you guys, here is the property description right here. Satsuma Heights, block 11, lot 1. Let's see here, block 11, lot 1. So, okay, and 2014 we saw was the last sale for 10,000. So let's go back here and pull up this record. Okay, so again, you guys, we can see that it's a deed document. We don't even need to look at this because it's just a deed transfer. This is a mortgage. Okay, remember, a mortgage does not impact us as the investor. Okay, this here is a satisfaction document. So you guys, there probably was something that may have been affiliated to this property, but it's been satisfied. So usually that will be in regard to a mortgage. You can click on the instrument numbers and read these documents, but you can see it's a satisfaction of the mortgage. Okay, so you guys, here is another deed transfer in 2020, still not the same property that we're looking at. And this here, you can see it's an agreement or of the contractor. This happens to be our last sales transaction on this property. Okay, so this here, you guys, lot 1, block 11, Satsuma Heights, that's it. Okay, but there is no government liens or there's no federal liens that is following this particular property owner. Okay, but again, because we do have to go back further, I'm going to come back and grab the other property owner's name. Okay, so Russell, and we're going to go back to our records, and we're just going to remove Jandy's name and input this name right here. Okay, so you guys, when you pull it up, like I said, if it pops down below, click on it because that's going to pull this up. And this happens to be very clean again. So back then, this was just a deed transfer. You can see, you guys, that that brought us back to 2001. So we're now past the 2003 mark. There is no type of government or federal lien of any concern. Okay, so oh, consideration. So James just asked, what is a consideration? This is the dollar amount of the sale. Okay, so if we were to go back to the actual property appraiser here, take a look. Okay, so we saw that the consideration on that last one was for $10,000. The consideration for this quick claim that we're just evaluating is $20,000. So that's the dollar amount of what this property sold for way back then. Okay, but you guys, same thing here. This particular property, there's no government liens, there's no federal liens of any concern. So I would feel very comfortable with this as well. Okay, but lastly, let's just go and see if we can grab a quick little market evaluation. It's a 1.1 acre property. Again, there's our assessed value. Let's click on the comparables and update, and let's just see if there's any comparisons right here in this specific area. Okay, so you guys, again, 5,550. Let's see here, half that. This assessed value is 3,330. It sold in 2022 for 4,500. We don't really have an assessed value here, you guys. It's going to give us too much. This one's getting closer, but it's a few years ago. It sold for 48,000. Again, I would pull this up in Zillow and just take a look. Smaller assessed value again in 2022, it sold for 29,320. So you guys, you see they're not in any specific order, so it's a little annoying, but it does kind of get the initial job done. So I would just go into Zillow, you guys, and take a look to see what market values are selling in and around today. Okay, so and let's just take a look what that would look like. If I'm in this map, okay, and you guys, again, if I think I actually do have an actual physical address on this property, so we can pull this up. There's an address, and let's pull it up, say, in Zillow. Okay, vacant property, I will always come to Zillow to do any of those evaluations, you guys, but when I paste this right here, okay, it'll pull up, obviously, the property, shows the assessed value, but you guys, I don't really care for this information because I've already seen that. What I care for is this page behind. Okay, I'm going to zoom out of here because I wouldn't expect that you have too awfully much for sale out here. Here you do have some properties over here, and this also shows their listing prices. So bare minimum, we're looking at 9,500, 8,500. But you guys, let's just see, has anything sold out here? Okay, now it actually is kind of impressive. So this property sold, it's got a home, however. Okay, but this property here, you guys, it's only 0.26 of an acre. Remember, we're looking at a 1.01 acre. That sold for 9,500. Okay, this one here, it could be an auction price because we're looking for anything with a warranty deed. And you can't get a real estate agent, you guys, without those warranty deeds. So when you're looking for market values, please always look for anything that has a real estate name, because this would be indicative of an auction. Somebody went in and outbid. If the opening bid was 2,000, those auction prices are in $100 increments. Okay, so again, you guys, this is where you'd be able to come in, do those further evaluations. I'm going to just take this one, 13,500. I know it was a year ago, you guys, but it's right around kind of the same size property. So that's going to, and you guys get the drift here of what we're doing. So again, opening bid divided by our market value. So 2,147.48. We're going to divide that, you guys, by $13,500 market value. That would bring this ratio to a 16%. Again, 60% or lower, you're going to stay in your safe zone. Okay, so you guys, I want for you, there's another lien on here. You don't need to go in and grab this one. Okay, just I wanted to show you here, you guys. So every county. Now, biggest thing that I would recommend is don't start to jump from one county to another county to another county. Because you guys, cosmetically, they do look all very different. So once you start to get familiarized with, oh, this is where I need to click on this one, Okay, it's the same stuff that we need, and there's not a specific order. You're going to have to get your roll-up amount. Okay, you're also going to have to take a look at the vitals, such as the assessed values, your sales activity, the GIS mapping. Once we've seen that, that is where you're going to be running those title searches. Okay, so you guys, please get yourself familiarized with this. Like I said, you don't have to go through every one of these steps every single time you're doing that, but I hope that showing you where those face values and redemptive values, etc., are, I hope that that's going to be helpful. All right, you guys, I'd like to open up here and unmute you all so I can address any questions that you may have with the time I have. So please make sure just to unmute yourself there and ask away. Pick my brain while you got it. Is there anybody that feels lost right now as far as how we calculated the opening bid? Maybe that's the better question to start with. Anybody have any questions on how we calculated those opening bids? No, okay. All right, you guys. Well, I gave you just a small snippet tonight of that Marketplace Pro. How can we not go in and use it? It's just so efficient. So you guys, tomorrow's class, that is where we're going to go in there and basically explore all of it. Okay, so I'm going to show you how you'll be able to locate investments from all across the nation. So it just totally depends on what you're looking for individually. So you guys, we're going to focus on that Marketplace Pro. I am going to show you excuse me, a whole lot more of those auction results. And I hope that by showing you those auction results, that's where I think people realize, oh, okay, well, this makes a lot more sense. Now, you guys, let's face it, if I was educating a client to go and bid on a tax deed today, those properties that we just looked at is the furthest thing from where I'm going to take a client. I don't think that they're super desirable. I don't want to acquire a whole bunch of them, but I will buy tax liens there all day, every day, and foreclose on them because I see my chances of acquisition as virtually slim to none. Okay, and you guys, what those auction results also provide us with is if on the slimmest chance we do end up being awarded one of those properties, we can log into those auction results and see who is winning or bidding and winning those properties. You guys, that's where you'd be able to reach out to them and say, hey, I see you're buying property in this area. I acquired one. Would you like to take it off my hands at a discounted price? Okay, it may not be your home run, your award winner property, but again, first you would have to acquire it. So I'm just saying, if on the slimmest chance you did, that is how I would approach unloading the property. Okay, we'll dive in and see who it is that's buying all these properties in those areas and who's paying these big amounts for them. And people will often ask me, well, what are people doing with those properties? I don't know. Okay, but you guys, you have to remember that Volusia County where I just showed you, that Volusia County is kind of your Daytona area, which is just on your outskirts of Orlando. So you guys, you have Orlando that is bursting at the seams. It has to go somewhere, right? So all that land in between Daytona and Orlando, that's basically the properties that we just looked at there in Volusia County. Okay, but the biggest thing, you guys, is when you're looking at those county held liens, you want to go into those counties that are going to have a plethora of options for you to choose from. Okay, don't go into a county that may have a couple hundred liens to choose from total. I promise you they've all been rifled through already. Okay, so go into those bigger counties like Putnam County, Highlands County, okay, Volusia County. They all have over 10,000 tax liens, county held liens. In fact, Putnam County, you guys, they have 60,000 county held liens available right now. Okay, so plenty of options. Make sure you go in there and get your feet wet. All right, you guys, I'm not going to hold you any longer here this evening, but I hope you learned something and make sure to utilize it. Okay, so tomorrow, same time, same place, we're going to reconvene and kind of tie this all up with a bow tie and show you how to use these different software accounts to maximize your time the most efficiently you can. All right, you guys, if you have any questions, just make sure you jot them down. We'll address those tomorrow and then go from there. All right, have a wonderful evening. We'll see you all then. Bye, you guys. Take care.